What were you able to go through in training with AJ?
Yeah, we trained for a couple of times out there, both at the same gym. He was watching me do the pads, and it was good that he still has that fire inside him. A lot of guys, when they take a loss like that, they kind of, they lose their confidence, or they lose their desire. And he doesn't have to fight anymore. He's had a lot of success. He's made a lot of money. So he's good, but he still wants to improve. He still wants to.
We will not find out, at least for about 20 years. Yeah, but if other people murder people, they don't like to brag about it. He don't brag.
Put it. I've seen in previous fight what I had with him that I say it's the confidence level that he have going into this fight.
Of course. Obviously, going into this fight, Eubank thought like he had a point to prove, obviously, with the legacy of the fight. And then now everyone expects him.
I know what's going to happen. Yeah. I'd be shocked if Eubank loses. I don't really see that happening. Again, he's fighting a career-best welterweight. He knows that. From a psychological perspective, when you know you've got a smaller guy in front of you, you kind of start 2 or 3 rounds up in your own mind. So, like I say, when you look at the fight, it wasn't close enough to warrant a win for Ben. He didn't win it.
And then technique and all that stuff, I'm not the most slickest, I'm not the most...
Nice. Hands in here. Come get it again. Put it right hand at. Put it right hand at.
Boxing feeds on rivalries, but few burn as deep as Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. From the moment their names were first mentioned together, this wasn't just hype, it was destiny. This isn't business, this is blood. Eubank Jr. has carried the heavy crown of his father's legacy since day one. Every move, every jab comes with the pressure of living up to a name that defined an era of British boxing. Calm, disciplined, and always in control, that's the Eubank way. Across from him, Conor Benn walks with a different fire, raw, emotional, and unfiltered. The son of the Dark Destroyer, Ben fights like a man, forever chasing both redemption and recognition. Their father's rivalry defined the 90 seconds. Now, their sons are here to finish the story, but with far more venom than nostalgia. The build-up to their rematch has been chaotic. Cancelled bouts, failed drug tests, and public finger-pointing have only added fuel to a rivalry that was already combustible. Still, neither man has walked away. Because deep down, both know this isn't just another payday, it's the fight that defines them. Eubank calls Ben a boy in a man's world, a deliberate jab meant to test his composure. Ben fires back with venom. He's getting put to sleep. These aren't rehearsed sound bites, they're declarations from two men who genuinely want to hurt each other. Anthony Joshua called it great for British boxing, but even he admitted that emotions make this one dangerous. Derek Chisora, ever the veteran, warned that when pride gets involved, game plans disappear. And promoter Eddie Hearn, who's worked with both men, summed it up perfectly. It's chaos, but it's pure theater. He's right. Every interaction between Ben and Eubank feels unscripted, unpredictable, and charged with generational weight.
Oh, Conor Benn. Conor Benn's not a massive puncher, not even at welterweight. So really, he's kind of mugged himself off a little bit by saying, I'm going to knock this guy out. He didn't give Eubank enough respect. Like I say, he was throwing shots at several points in that fight, and he wasn't even looking where they were going. It was just like head down, just winging the shots over.
At this stage, Eubank can do a lot more else. He'll try and do what he did, on fight night. It's whether he can go to the well again. I don't think so. If the fight becomes as hard and if it's as the pace and ferocity of a first fight, I'd be very surprised and I'd be amazed if Eubank can do all.
It's ain't the first time. I'm not going to promise you now. For as long as this fight, it won't be the last.
This fight for me is a lot closer. I can catch it and calm me down a little bit on the outside and not rush like we rush in the work. Head movement, short steps, on the outside, unnecessary energy.
have to follow the weight classes. You have to follow directions and orders. And, you know, that's why we have weight classes. For 1 pound makes a huge difference. I mean, this guy was almost fainting trying to make weight.
In Beaumac, one of the best trainers in the world, what does that tell you? Because he knows he's got to be better. If he's not better this time, he loses. And, you know, he's taking it seriously, and so he should.
George Groves, who once beat Eubank Jr., believes his composure will be key. Eubank's discipline gives him the edge, Groves said. But if he fights emotionally, he's finished. On the other hand, Leon McKenzie sees Benn's fury as his greatest weapon. Conor doesn't fight scared, McKenzie said. He fights with purpose. That's dangerous. Those conflicting takes only add to the intrigue because in this matchup, logic rarely survives the first bell. Training footage paints a vivid contrast. Benn's camp looks fiery, full of intensity, aggression, and urgency. He's been sparring heavier opponents, working on closing distance and perfecting the art of controlled chaos. Eubank's camp, in contrast, is built on patience. He's sharpening timing, movement, and counterpunches designed to punish Benn's wild surges. One man fights on emotion, the other thrives on control. Then there's the atmosphere, that electric, unpredictable energy that British crowds bring. When Benn walks to the ring, the chants of "Nigel! Nigel!" echo through the arena, connecting him to a legacy carved in fire.
In the end, sort of bigger guy won it. The rematch is going to be interesting, I think. He's now realised that I can hurt that fighter. I've felt the other fighter's power. Next time, I know what's coming. I think he might even do better in the next one. I think he's got a shout to win it.
And Eubank's older.
I get these fights, but you do want to see Benn. Can you kick on to try and win it?
I think maybe Conor Benn beats him. I think if I was Eubank, my point was at the time, I was like, mate, like you have just climbed your Everest. You've just headlined a stadium. You've beat what is now a rival, spectacular fashion in terms of getting the win with your dad by your side and all the hooting and hollering that went on amongst. You can't top that feeling. I don't begrudge you if you want to earn more money out of the sport, but be careful because you look way past his best.
And I think Eubank Jr, if he gets this win and there's a new lease of life maybe under Beaumac, 2026, maybe finally he could become a world champion. But he's got to get past Conor Benn first, and Conor Benn, not just hungry for revenge, he believes he can win this because of what happened first time round, because he went 12 rounds at middleweight, up in class, after a long layoff. Some people fancy...
Conor is a far better fighter than Chris Eubank Jr is a boxer.
Technically, yeah.
And that's the problem that Chris Eubank Jr is having. He's got this thing in his mind, he's a masterful boxer. No, you're not.
No.
I'm sorry, no, you're not.
Eubank, meanwhile, plays the villain flawlessly. He doesn't need love. He feeds on the booze, smirking as the noise rises, embracing the chaos like he was born for it. At its core, this fight isn't about belts or rankings. It's about identity, about who steps out of the shadows and claims his own name. Eubank wants to prove he's more than his father's posture and precision, that his intellect and composure make him superior. Benn wants to prove he's not defined by controversy or lineage, that his fire and willpower can break through the walls of criticism. When the lights go down and the bell rings, years of legacy, pain, and pride will collide in one ring. The result won't just crown a winner, it'll define an era. Because this isn't just Eubank versus Benn. It's control versus chaos, legacy versus defiance. And when it's over, only one man will leave, knowing he's truly stepped out of his father's shadow.